Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. It's cold. It's 7:30 in the morning, and yeah, I thought why not? It's a Saturday morning. I don't often get to fish on a Saturday, on a weekend really, apart from when it's comps. And I got the opportunity to come out Saturday morning. Got just under half a pound of worm. I haven't been doing very well lately, if I'm honest, so I thought I'd give it a completely different shake-up. Come out early in the morning. The sea's not as calm or clear as I'd like. And basically just have a go and see what's going to come out. Hopefully something will come out. I've got rags, so I'm going to tip off tip it off with some tiny little pieces of squid and some tiny little pieces of mackerel. And just see what happens really. If it starts to be really flaggy, I'll chuck one rod out, I'll chuck a bigger bait, see if there's a ray around. And then if it does, well, if I get into a couple of fish and it's a fun session, I may well move. I've brought a really light rod in the van, just my little 8-foot spinning rod, and I've made some tiny rigs with some little size 6 hooks. Well, I haven't finished them yet, I need to finish them now. But while I'm fishing, I'll finish those rigs with some little size 6 hooks and just have a little dink around. I think they call it LRF, light rock fishing. A little bit further along, there's a little rocky area, and just drop a couple of baits in, tiny little bits of worm, and see if we can't pull out a couple of little tiny fish. But I'm gonna get it set up anyway, and yeah, stick along, hope you enjoy it. And I want to say again, thank you for your support all the way. It's been epic. Honestly, it's been so rewarding doing this, because a lot of the feedback's been really good, and it makes it worthwhile coming out and doing it, because I know there's not always content, but there's always content. It's me just talking really, but there's not always fish. So I do understand that sometimes it's probably a bit of a boring watch, but we'll try and make this one an entertaining one. Anyway, let's get fishing, stop talking. Alright, so it's a bit dark here, isn't it? Hopefully it will lighten up in a minute. This is my first rig. Like again, I'm fishing in a species comp, so I can only fish with 3 hooks. Well, I can only fish with 3 hooks if I want to take a picture of it and send it in, which I do. So I'm fishing with 3 hooks. I've made a little up and over. So we've probably got about 60 centimetre rig body. That's about 40 pound, 45 pound. And then I've probably got about 40 centimetre hook length, which is 15 pound amnesia black, and on the end of that I've got a load of glowy bits and bobs. Got some floaty beads on there as well, so I'm hoping to get some decent movement in there. And I've just got a little size 2 hook on there. I'm hoping, like I say, we can pull out a flatfish. I didn't want to say those words. I'm hoping I can get not a round fish, but the other type of fish, because I think every time I say it I jinx myself. So that's a little up and over. Now a lot of people I know will use like a smaller bit of rig body and a longer hook length, but you know what, that's going to have 40 centimetres, 50 centimetres floating around on the bottom, should be fine. I'm fishing that with probably a 3 ounce or a 4 ounce plain lead. I haven't got any flat leads, but I might just bash a few out if I don't have much success today. Hit him with a hammer, flatten it out a bit. But that's one rig anyway, so I'll get this one on, get it baited up. And here we go. Second rig of choice for today. Without saying the words, but I reckon you could probably tell what I'm trying to get. Is a Wessex rig. So it's a bit of a shorter snood on the top. Again, tiny little size 2 hooks. Just got some blue and white beads on that one. A bit heavier that one. And then just got, again, I've got a floaty bead. Loads of sequins on that one. That's on the bottom one, which is basically, so it's on a running ledger. So the bottom one's on a running ledger, that's on a running ledger. Idea is I can cast him out every now and again. I can bring it in like 3 or 4 foot and leave it out there, providing there's bait left on it. But yeah, let's get this one on as well and get fishing. Cool, man. The end of my baiting needle just broke, so I can't actually thread the hook in the end anymore. Happy days. Right, there we go, we're baited. It's all hanging there, so I'll quickly show you and see how we get on. Right, so here we go. There we go, so that was baited up. The worm's all bogged down at the bottom. I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not, I really don't know. That one's tipped off with a squid, and then that one's tipped off with a mackerel. That one's tipped off with mackerel as well. I did have these in the box. They're not actually round, but they are, I think, I'm going to say they're a 3 ounce, maybe a 4, possibly a 4, but I think they're probably a 3 ounce. So we'll be able to chuck those out. Hopefully they won't roll around too much. Yeah, let's get them on, see what happens. Let's see what happens then, I guess. Got a feeling already the swell is going to play a bit of havoc. Might have to put a grip lead on one of the rods. I didn't actually bring many. I've got some 3 ounce grip leads. I could have brought those. But thinking I was going to use plain leads, I didn't bother bringing them. That one that's on the left hand side is swinging around a little bit in the wind already, so we'll see. Do you know what? Bait's in the water. If there's a fish, it will take it. Let's just have a look. Right, I'm going to try and give him a little whine now, see if can't entice the take. I'm slightly concerned the one on the left might be a little snag, but we'll see. You see the swell, as the swell's coming in, it's dipping the rods. So yeah, well, let's have to see how we get on, really. This is very much an experiment for me. I've never fished like this before. I'm just going on what a lot of people have recommended, having a go at, basically, so I'm just giving it a go. Right, while we're sitting about waiting, that's my leads. So that's what I'm going to use later. Just a little 1 ounce pear lead. I have actually got a couple of flat ones. I didn't think I had. That one I did beat out with a hammer, and that one was already. But they're 5 ounce, which is probably a little bit big for today. There's the worm, nice worm, fresh dug yesterday, I believe it was. And that is courtesy of Drew at Bait and Tackle at Ride. He's the only person that had any rag yesterday. Popped in, ended up being in there for about 40 minutes having a chat. So that was really cool. So big shout out to him for sorting out the rag for today. And then I've got a mackerel that I caught. That was caught by myself last year. So I've just, you can see, I've just taken a slither off because it's frozen anyway. Just taking a slither off and just using that. So again, I can just take that little piece there of flesh. And just basically use the skin with maybe like just a couple of mil of flesh on it. It's mainly for an attractor than anything else. Using a bit of squid, some squid in there that's left over, and I've also got a wrap of blacks. I've actually got 2 wraps of blacks. It's the last blacks that I've got in the freezer. Yeah, so when I run out of that, or I might even interchange it with that, you never know, a fish might take that. I haven't really had much luck with blacks, if I'm honest. So I may well use those later when I go to do a little bit of light rock fishing. But there we go. Big shout out to Slamfish Isle of Wight. Fish Reaper Rigs, Autistic Angler. That was Rich and Leo's sticker, but that one's worn out. I'm still waiting for a new one for that. And there, of course, is me. Yeah, so it's about 8:30 now, so I've been fishing for about half an hour, leaving one out. I've changed one, it was pretty much untouched, so I'm just going to leave the other one out for a bit. But we're fishing, Nick's just turned up as well, so we're fishing, well, up and down. I think we've got maybe 2.5 hours ish, give or take, fishing up, and then the rest of it is all going to be on the ebb. So, and he said he went fishing last night further up the beach, and said it totally switched on the ebb, so nothing on the flood. And then on the ebb, he said it's just relentless with dogfish and stuff, so, and a huss. So yeah, hopefully we can pull something out, but it remains to be seen, doesn't it? Right, so we're pretty much fishing on the top of the tide now. It's really slackened off. I was fishing with 4s, and I'm now fishing with 5-ounce leads because it was just swinging around too much. And I have got a hammer in the van, so Nick was like, grab a hammer, flatten them out a bit. So I've done that, and they're definitely holding a lot better. But yeah, we've been fishing for maybe just over 2 hours. Not a nibble, not a bend in the rod at all. Nick's had a bit of crab activity, so at least it's something, reason to change the bait. But yeah, we've got good, probably another 3 hours, I reckon, to fish. So hopefully in that time we can pull something out. He's on, isn't it?
Leave him, mate, leave him. Let him fucking honestly, let him suck it, then basically just suck it right in. There's a little flat here, it's deeper. Hey! Is that tickled? Yeah. Yeah. Sort of a little Dylan jig. Yeah, that stays fully as well. Nice. I got a little flat.
Oh yeah, look, go in. It is, isn't it? It's that line there. Yeah? Is it?
Yeah, I was breathe into him, mate. I was much hit him to breathe into him.
Oh, I don't think there. No, it's not there, I don't think.
You probably wouldn't know, mate, anyway. They're like, honestly, sometimes you don't get no fight off of them.
I don't think there's anything there. Good to see a bite though. Oh, well, a little bit of excitement there. Finally had a bite. Nick reckons it was probably a flatty bite as well, because it kept on just tap, 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 tap. And then it's slack line, so reeled in then, thinking it was probably on, but it wasn't. So I've just totally fresh bait, rather than pushing the old worm up, I've put fresh bait on it completely. And try and hit it on the head, and see if we can get it again. Right, so I've changed it up ever so slightly. I'm still fishing the lighter rod with 2 hooks with worm, tipped with squid, tipped with mackerel, and also plain. And the rod on the left, I've now put a bigger bait on, squid and mackerel wrap. That I've just sort of whacked it really as far as I can. You never know, might pick up a dogfish, might pick up a ray, might even pick up a bass, who knows. But yeah, it's pretty slow. We've literally, between 3 of us, just had that one little knock, which is a shame really, because we totally come down with the expectations of hoping to get a fish, obviously. Well, you do every time, otherwise we wouldn't come fishing. Say that all the time, but yeah, hopefully we'll get one. If we get one, we've got another couple of hours left, I reckon. Look at this. See this? Zoom in. That's why I don't use a multiplier reel. Because Nick's just been sat there for the last 10 minutes trying to sort it out. Yeah, so that, we're on a bit of a wonk here, aren't we? That's going to put your eyes off a bit, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, so that, like I said, put a bigger bait out on one rod, but I am still going to alternate it with this. So at the minute, I haven't actually tried any black lug yet. So I've just wrapped a bit of black lug up on a baiting needle with some elastic, which I actually saw on another channel, the Shore Hunter, Wayne Hand. And it keeps the worm much more in shape, so it will keep it on the line like that, rather than it all bunching down on the hook and masking the hook point. Great idea. So yeah, so hopefully that one I'm going to chuck out next. You never know, that one might be the magic bait. We'll see. And there we go. Baits are in the water again, and you may have guessed that this quite possibly might be a different day, and that would be because it is. Yeah, it's a week later. We wrapped it up. After that bite, we literally had absolutely nothing, and I've got the opportunity to get out for a few hours today, so I thought, why not? So I've raided the freezer. I've literally got 1 mackerel, about 1/4 of a bag of squid, all leftover bits and bobs, about 3/4 of a wrap of black lug, frozen, and the remaining rag that I had from the rock clean night the other night. But I was going to preserve it, so it's actually been soaking in salted water, a brine, in the fridge for about 2 days, and then I was going to stick it in the freezer because it doesn't break down. So I've got that, so I haven't got any fresh rag. The conditions aren't great. The sea is calmer, but it's definitely overcast, and we've had loads of rain, so it's pretty dirty. But you know what? It's the only opportunity I've got to get out fishing, so we're giving it a go. Hopefully we can pull something out. If not, well, I've had a few hours sat down by the sea, so they've literally been in the water about 2 minutes. So yeah, hopefully we can get a fish. I will keep you informed. So it's quite a big tide today, and yeah, there's definitely some tidal pull going to the right. It's an incoming tide, so I got down here at about 9 o'clock, probably just gone to be honest, and high tide is maybe about 12, so I'm fishing sort of mid-tide up and then maybe an hour or so down. Depends on how long the bait lasts, to be honest. But it's nice and calm down here today, and it's so nice to be out when it's not freezing cold. Being able to just stay in a hoodie today. I have got another layer underneath it, in fairness, but yeah, and I see a few little blue spots of cloud in the sky, so hopefully it may clear up. But yeah, we'll keep chucking the baits out and to see what happens. There's still a first set of baits out there at the moment. Doing the same tactics as before, casting them out, leaving them for 5-10 minutes, give them a couple of reels, leave them for 5-10 minutes, give them a couple of reels, and then I'll bring it in. But like I say, the one on the right swung right round and it's quite close anyway, it's not clipped down. I just give it a little flick, probably only went 40 yards. So it's probably only about 25-30 yards out there now. So I may give that one a quick change and then swap them over. So I'll rotate the rods around. As they swing round, I'll be able to bring one out, cast it on the left hand side, and then swap them over in the stand. Hopefully we'll get a fish. Yeah, so I am fishing the same rigs as I did last time. I've got the up and over on a size 2, which has got loads of bling and a little like spoon sequin, and then on the other one I've got the size 2 hooks again, but that's on a 2 hook, 1 up, 1 down. I think it's actually a Wessex rig, to be honest, because it's got running ledger, and that's got loads of beads and stuff on it as well. But like I say, I'm having a go. Fishing's been really slow. I don't know what it's been like for everyone else out there, but for me it's been pretty dire. I was lucky to get a couple of fish the other night, and I was pretty stoked, to be honest. But yeah, it's been hard. So hopefully we're getting into, I don't even know what the date is today. We're sort of around the 10th, I think it is, 10th of March. So hopefully, like I say, the fishing will start to pick up. It's pretty mild today, which is nice, but I know the wind and cold is coming again. So whether or not I'll get out next week, I don't know. I do try to get out at least once a week. This is a bit of an extra, to be honest. So I feel quite lucky and fortunate to be able to get out on a weekend. So I'll keep an eye on those rods. Hopefully we'll get a fish, but like I say, the possibilities of a blank are quite high. So the leads again I'm using today are those ones that I've flattened out. I think if I was using just a plain ball lead out there, it's swinging around so quick, I'd never be able to fish it, do you know what I mean? So I'm using the same ones. They've been flattened out with a hammer, so they're probably only about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 mil thick, 5 ounces on both, and they're still swinging anyway. There's definitely a bit of tide out there, but like I say, hopefully it will work. I think my main issue today is going to be my bait, because I'm using old bait from the freezer and my rag is not alive. So I think that's going to be the whole thing. So I'm really going to have to work on giving those little reels, giving that movement in the water. I've got pop-ups on a couple of my rigs, so maybe that will just get that sort of natural flow in the water and maybe still pick something up. Who knows? So I managed to remember pretty much everything today, which is good. Apart from the fact that I picked up some money off my bedside to go to the shop to get a drink and a packet of crisps, and I forgot to do that because I was too keen to get down here. So I got no food, no drink. Never mind. Not even touched. That black lug. The other one, the fish and the squid bait had come off. Whether it had come off in the cast or had been eaten by crabs, I don't know, but the black lug one, completely untouched. But little tip that I picked up from another YouTube channel, the shore hunter, Wayne Hand. Because let's face it, we're all picking up tips from other people all the time. I'm by no means an experienced fisherman. I just enjoy getting out. But the tip that I picked up off of him was to thread your black lug onto a baiting needle that you would normally use for like rag and normal lug and black lug. But because it's frozen, it's got a tendency, when you cast it out, it all bunches up on the hook and masks the hook point. But if you give it a few wraps of the bait elastic, just do a couple of overhand knots, snap that off, then you can thread that up and the bait elastic keeps it in shape, so it's actually a much better looking and presented bait. I'll chuck it on and show you. So there we go, look at that. So that worm now won't all bunch up at the bottom. It's much better to sit in the water like that, surely. I've just tipped it off with a little bit of squid. And I've got some black lugworm spray, which is from Sea Rigs UK. And I'm going to give it a little spray of that. You never know, it might just help get that little bit of extra scent in the water. And hopefully, it'll be the difference between getting a fish and not. Not the best cast in the world, that one, but it's out there anyway. Yeah, they are really flying around. I'd say they've both got a 5 ounce lead that's been flattened out. And yeah, they're swinging around within 5 minutes. They're probably at a 45-degree angle. Even though I'm casting to the left, they're just swinging, which I guess is a good thing, because I mean, I am after a flatfish. So it means that they're rolling around on the bottom. So at least it's getting some movement. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain because, well, I suppose after 10-15 minutes I've got to bring it in anyway. But I guess, I mean, I should be recasting every 10 or 15 anyway. So. But yeah, no bites as yet, but no real surprise there. Yeah, I might change my tactics a little bit in a minute. They're moving so quick. I've just tried to lob one like right next to the pier, and it was only probably about, I don't know, 3 yards off the pier, but like within seconds it's just swung away, so it's completely pointless. So I might actually put a little 4-ounce grip lead on. I know it's not ideal because I still want it to be moving around, but if there is a fish lurking around under the pier, then I'd like to try and get it, whether it's a flatfish or not. So yeah, so I'm going to do that in a second. Next cast, I think I'll let these two swing round, and then I'll chuck one, try to get one right next to the pier with a gripper, so it can sit there for a little bit and just see if I can find something lurking around under there. You never know. There we go. Look what we've got for our efforts. A big old shore crab. Very, very orange on the bottom, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But I am going to change it now. I've baited up a squid and mackerel wrap, only on a size 2.0 pennel, and I've got a 4-ounce gripper. I'm going to stick it right next to the pier and leave that in there. I am going to put some juice on that as well. So I've been spraying it up, everything with that black lug. So I mean, maybe the scent is, you know, I've had 2 crabs now, so maybe the scent is working a bit, at least for the crabs anyway. So hopefully maybe able to pick something up. It's quite sandy out there, so I'm surprised we're getting crabs. So I've got it pretty much where I wanted to get it. But having said that about putting the spray on, I totally forgot, so. Next time. Well, I think we're pretty much bang on high tide now. It's definitely, tide's definitely stopped pulling, so it stopped swinging around. So basically I'm casting, they're hitting the water and they're staying where they land, which is quite nice. But yeah, man, it's cold. It's cold, and then there's been a few spots of rain as well, so it's a little bit, I don't know, when there's no fish, and I'm not really expecting to either. If I catch one, I'm going to be over the moon. It'll be a real bonus to actually catch a fish today. But yeah, I'm going to fish for another hour. I think we're about at the top of the tide, so I'm going to fish it for an hour down, and then we'll wrap up. Never know, might pick one up in the last hour, but well, we'll try anyway. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? So when we come out, it's why we chuck a bait in the water, and if there's no bait in the water, then we don't know. Yeah, that tide is absolutely racing out now. I've just put a gripper, so basically it's the last cast, because there's a bit of weed in the water and I'm not really fishing very well. But I've had a rig baited up, so I'm going to chuck it out. It's the up and over, single hook. I've baited up with a load of that leftover rag. Nice strip of squid, mackerel, sorry, on the bottom. Yeah, and I'll just chuck a 4-ounce gripper on it, and I'll just chuck it out, slowly start packing a few bits away, and maybe we'll get lucky on that last cast. Oh, well, there we go. That's it. I've just reeled one in and I'm calling it. I'm cold, I'm ready for home, I'm ready for a bath, and I'm ready for a beer. Rugby's on later, so might get a bit of a result, never know. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for stopping by. I'm really sorry you probably didn't sign up for getting 2 blanks of the price of 1, but hey ho, that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, thank you for watching. As always, I massively appreciate all of your support, all of your comments. Yeah, the support's been really, really good at the moment, so yeah, I'll keep doing what I do and try and catch a fish. Definitely more trying than catching at the moment, but I guess that's just how it is. Like I say, I haven't been fishing for very long, probably just over 2 years now, and maybe into my 3rd year, but yeah, I still find it hard to get to grips with the fact that basically February and March are just not very good months. You just assume there's fish always out there. But I suppose if you don't chuck a bait out, then you don't know. And I'd rather be chucking a bait out than sitting around doing nothing. So yeah, on to the next one. So thanks again for stopping by. If you haven't already subscribed, then please do. drop a comment, I'll always reply. And yeah, maybe see you on the next one. But until then, please take care, stay safe, and maybe see you out there. Cheers. So yeah, it's quite a big tide tonight.